the weapons, collective edge.
Welcome to the Weapons Collective Edge. Today I'm going to start a new series on different types of locking mechanisms for your everyday carry knife, your EDC. So the main thing I'm going to go over today in this particular beginning of the series is regular folders, similar to these, where you open it up and it doesn't lock. It just folds right over. And then we've got our other kind, which opens up and locks on the back. Those are the two types that I'm going to go over in here. We're going to go through all the other kinds that I can find, and we'll see if we can come up with some more after that. But those are what I'm going to start with. The different type of folders I got here. I've got a Hawkbill. This one's made by Sabre. Got a Camp King right there. An Old Timer. Grab a hold of that blade there. There's an Old Timer. This one is our Richards. As you can see, these folders, they kind of, I want to say kind of lock. Get them half open and it locks in that position, and then it locks there. And I use the term lock loosely is because this is not locked. Any pressure can actually fold it. So if you're cutting with it and you push down on something to cut, it's going to fold on you. So again, that's why these are called folders. This is also another version. They've got these old time ones, tend to have 3 blades. This is a spay blade and a clip point, and I can't remember what this one was called, but it's more like a thin shaving blade. It's thinner than the other two a lot of times. That is folders, and folders, I'll show you here, is how the mechanism works. So the blade here that folds, it comes in and it has a flat on the back of the blade, and then when that folds down it rolls around a round part, and then when it folds all the way back in it comes against more of a flat surface again. So if we look at that, there's just a piece of metal. Sometimes it's pinned on this end, pinned here, and then when this rotates down it kind of flexes it up just by pressure, and then when it comes all the way closed it does the same thing. And then in here we've got where it's a double-ended one, so again in this same situation, so the spring is working the same on both ends. And it's just a back pressure spring, doesn't have any kind of clip on it to keep it in place. So as we can see with these various styles, they've all got something different going on. This one here, the Camp King, even has a thing to open with a screwdriver and a bottle opener, a pick-all, and a blade. Old Timer has just 3 different blade styles. Again, the same thing. This one has 3 different blade styles. And then our Hawkbill is just the one blade, has the same mechanism in it. Kind of slightly comes against a flat surface here to kind of open this way, and then when it finally opens it comes against that finished flat surface in there against that back. So that is the slip joint knife, or regular pocket knife. We've got different names for them. Jackknife, pen knife, and all of these go in your pocket, just sit right in, go all the way to the bottom. So when you go to get them out, find them in your pocket, pull them out. So a lot of times the blade's hard to bend and you open it with 2 hands. So the utility on this is, or the speed of opening on these is really slow. They're made 2 hands to open, nothing special to be able to get them open with just 1 hand, and they're in the bottom of your pocket. So this is definitely one of the slowest to come out of your pocket and be able to use. And if you got something in this hand that you've got to do, it's going to be hard to do with this kind of pocket knife. You're going to have to use 2 hands to open this. So that would be what I would consider this kind of knife as a folder. Folder, pen knife, jackknife. And in this case, this one here actually has a pick bone It's an imitation pick bone, like I'm going to show you these others, the Lockback, and this is a real pick bone, and it's been carved out. It's just a stylized, but yeah, these old camp knives always had this black pick bone surface that is just plastic, but it's been carved out. Wood handle, pearlized looking handle, probably a Bakelite or something like that. Again, plastic on these. So that's the various types, and they were probably a different couple models you might have heard of also. Those were Cutmaster, Old Timer, Richards, Camp Master, Camp King. So those are the various kinds. But next we'll go on to the Lockbacks. So the Lockback was a different mechanism that came along, and this one here is Damascus, and that one's made by Boker. This one here is Parker Boker. This one here, mechanism is in the back. Pushing on that releases our little catch that keeps it snapped shut so it doesn't close on your hand. Another version here, it is more in the middle. Same mechanism. And again, another one here, more in the middle. Same type of thing, it doesn't really do any different. This one's Gerber, has a different style blade, but overall same mechanism, and I will show you the mechanism. So the mechanism is you push this down, it pops that open, and as you can see right on here, bend this down, it has a little hook. Fold that out, gets captured, and there's a spring, fell out, this one I took apart. Spring sits in here, keeps that tension on that so that when you push it down, it pops it loose, and then you can get it loose, but it also keeps it pushed up so that it keeps tight and keeps that from folding like we showed with the other knives. So that is the basic mechanism of a regular Lockback. Here's a couple variations. We showed the Gerber earlier. This one's got a pocket clip so you can hook it on your pocket. Again, this style here, pop it in there, come in, and you can open it with one hand. This one just has a slot in it to be able to do that. Other ones will have a button on them that you can flip open. This was an old case. Yeah, a lot of other names: Buck knife, Buck 110, 112, Buck 501. Camelus 886 is another model which I don't have. A Spyderco is a mid-lock version, the same type of thing. This one here is a double Lockback, which you don't see too many of. Kind of looks like horns, but it's got the same mechanism. Push on that, opens. Push on that one, opens, and then you can close them up. But that one's a double. And then I got back to the pick bone that we showed earlier. Same type of locking mechanism right there. And it just keeps it from closing on your hand if you're prying at something, which you shouldn't always pry with a knife, but sometimes you might have to, or you're digging into something. It doesn't fold on you. The other folders, they just fold, and now you've hurt yourself because it probably is going to close right on your fingers like that. So again, I want to show that mechanism right in there. And that is the style that is the Lockback. Lockbacks, probably I'd say most of the 20th century, almost all knives that came at the grocery stores and at different hardware stores and hobby places were Lockbacks. Earlier than that were folders. Folders are a little simpler design, but 1600s is what I read in Spain is where the Lockback was originated. Folders have been around for ages and ages. They say as early as in the BCs, just because, you know, when you needed a knife that wasn't just attached to a handle, a fixed blade, you had that style where it would fold up. Simple, easy thing to pivot. The other thing I wanted to make a mention of is a fixed blade is a knife and a folding knife is a broken knife. I hate to say it, but honestly, this handle is not attached to this blade other than, like we say, a locking mechanism or a folder that has a blade that springs on the back. But overall, this is as long as the blade is from here to here. If I push this button down, it's technically broken. You know, it's just that one piece. The only mechanism to hold it together so it doesn't fall apart is that one pivot joint right there. So for strength wise, if I was going to use this as a camp knife, I don't want to be prying things. I don't want to be batoning it, putting it in wood and hammering it. This is all going to loosen up. It's only as strong as this pivot point. So however that's attached, if it's pinned together or whatever, it's only as strong as that point. And as is almost all folding knives are. So no matter what brand you have and how strong you think the knife is, you're only as good as that one pivot point. All this stuff back here isn't attached to the main blade. It's not full tang. So in that case, this is a utility thing. It is where it's the convenience of being able to put it in your pocket and carry it with you. Maybe it's because of its legal size, the size is the right length, it's not illegal to carry. It's just convenient to carry. It's not banging away on your hip. It's not doing anything that is inconvenient, where a pocket knife is just that. It's convenient to carry. And some of the other mechanisms I'll show later in the other volumes that I'm going to put up. You'll see different mechanisms that make it more reliable and sometimes easier to open. But in general, it's made as a pocket knife, or as we call it, EDC now, an everyday carry, so that you have something you can open boxes with, home protection, whatever it is that you feel you need a knife for, and that's why you would carry a pocket knife. So if you like this, please subscribe, and I will catch you later as I make the rest of these videos. I'm going to put a whole series together of all these different types of locking mechanisms. And this was just the start. And this one here was a start where it doesn't actually lock. So I wanted to show that first. So catch you on the next video.